Hi, my friend. So what I want to chat with you today is about the fact that so many of us are malnourished and yet overfed. And what that means is that we are consuming a lot of food, but there's not a lot of nutrients in it. And what happens, and this is what causes us to be hungry all the time. So let's imagine my typical breakfast a few years ago was I would go to Starbucks, I would get a skinny vanilla latte, and then I'd get either one of their delicious blueberry muffins or one of their bagels with cream cheese. And I would consume that, right? I'd eat it. And my body would absorb as many nutrients as possible and then be done, right? And we all know that there's just not a lot of nutrients in Starbucks vanilla latte or blueberry muffins and bagel with cream cheese. So inevitably I would get hungry. And then based upon what I would eat next would determine how nourished my body was. So if I chose to get a delicious salad full of nutrients, then my body would be pretty satisfied. But if I instead went to Whataburger and got a cheeseburger and french fries, again, my body's going to pull out as many nutrients as possible, but let's be honest, there's just not going to be that many from that type of meal. So it becomes this vicious cycle. We're hungry, and yet, which hunger is natural, right? I mean, we're going to be hungry at some points, but it's the fact of the chronic hunger, and then based upon what it is we're eating, whether we are nourishing our body with nutrient dense foods or we're not. And again, that goes back to a lot of us are malnourished and overfed. So that's one of the big things that I talk about with my one-on-one nutrition clients is we discuss how we can consume really nutrient dense food. And yes, the soil just is not as nutrient dense as it used to be, and all these wonderful things. And I think that's important to discuss, but really I think it's more bringing awareness to eating ultra processed foods which are not full of nutrients, opposed to eating more green foods like I talked about last week. We have the green, the yellow, or the red, and the green foods are the ones that we can eat in abundance, right? No one's overeaten blueberries or strawberries or leafy greens, right? But we sure as heck can overeat Fritos or Cheetos or Twizzlers or Skittles or those type of things, right? But the green foods, really healthy foods that you can just eat so much of, that's where you're going to find a lot of the nutrients. And then yellow foods are going to be, well, these are still good for you, but let's not eat them as often. And then there's the red foods, which, those are treats. And I heard today on this awesome podcast from Dr. Hyman, and he calls sugar a recreational drug. And I'm going to talk about that more later at a different time, but that's kind of something you want to put in your head, is that sugar should be treated like a recreational drug as much as maybe we want to consume red wine nightly. Most of us don't, because we recognize that that's not the healthiest choice for us. And I think we need to think about sugar in the same way, and ultra foods in the same way, is that those are really need to be treats. But anyways, that's one of the things that I work on with my one-on-one nutrition clients, is we talk about what foods are perfect for them, that can provide them with the most nutrition, which inevitably means that they will no longer be overeating, which means inevitably they will lose a little bit of lbs and become their healthiest self. So if you have any questions, let me know. I am here for you. Have a most delightful day. Bye.